What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here. So, as the title states, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the Champions League draw for us, as well as the January transfer window coming up, and just some thoughts about what we should do going into it and all that. What's going to be really funny is because my internet is so slow at uploading everything, I'm probably going to get this uploaded by the end of tonight, which we have a game against Huddersfield today later on. So it's going to be like I upload this, and everybody's going to be like, well, where's your Huddersfield review? That's going to be uploading probably tomorrow morning. So whatever, let's talk about this. So yeah, obviously let's first talk about the draw because it did happen yesterday. I think it was Monday morning. Yeah, we ended up drawing, and of course we only had three teams to go against. And I've already talked about the disappointment in my talk about the Atletico Madrid game, the second one. I talked about my disappointment about the fact that we finished in second place because we couldn't get the job done against Roma at home. We lost really bad against them away. And then on top of that, we couldn't get the job done against Atletico Madrid, even though we were the better team at home. And so we ended up finishing in second place in the group. What's so disappointing about that is it really limits our options to who we can face because all the other English teams finished in first place. So, yeah, there's a problem there. We can't face any of them. We can't face Roma, obviously, because they're in our group. So who's that leave? PSG, Barcelona, Besiktas. PSG would be hell to play against. Barcelona, obviously going to be very difficult. Besiktas, not an easy game. Obviously the home game we'd probably be able to handle them okay, but the away game would be really difficult because anytime, I think it's Turkey. I want to say it's Turkey. Anytime you have to go to any of those teams over there towards the Middle East, it's always a difficult game. It's always difficult to go and play in situations like that. So all three of those games are going to be not an easy walk in the park. Obviously, if we'd finished first place, there's a chance we could have faced Real Madrid, chance we could have faced Bayern Munich. So it's not like getting first place would have guaranteed we have an easy road, but it would have opened up our options a lot more. We would have had several other teams that we could have played against. So that's already very disappointing that we've only got three options and all of them are going to be difficult. So obviously we ended up getting Barcelona. Of the three, like I said, it's probably PSG the hardest, then Barcelona, and then Besiktas, at least this year. PSG have shown they have a lot of attacking intent, managed to handle Bayern Munich in the first game easily, and then obviously the second, Bayern did manage to get their revenge. But yeah, I mean, that would have been a very difficult game to go up against. Going to be great to watch PSG play Real Madrid. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch. But Barcelona is still a very difficult team. They are a little bit older. They don't have quite the same players that they did the last time we faced them, but they're still a very difficult team to play against. And it's not like our defense has been the best in the world this year. So we're going into a game with not a great defense against a team that has a lot of attacking intent. And I mean, it's going to be hard. They are doing very well right now in their own league. They've done pretty well in the Champions League so far. We put ourselves in a very difficult position to have to play against them. Now, obviously, I don't know a whole lot about Barcelona this year as much. I do know, obviously, Messi is still running the show for the most part. They've still got Suarez. They did sell Neymar, so they've lost one of those front trio. I'm pretty sure Dembele, who they bought to sort of replace Neymar, has been out injured. I'm not sure if he's going to be back by the time we face him. But they've still got a pretty solid midfield. I think their defense is doing okay right now. I think I'll have to look and see what they've got going for them. But that's going to be a difficult game. But I do think of these three teams, I still think we can handle them. I still think we have enough talent. We've just got to make sure that we set ourselves up defensively well enough to be prepared for this. And obviously, it's going to be interesting to see how Conte does in a game like this because this is his first year playing against teams like this. He missed out on the Champions League last year because he came to us. Now he's finally in the Champions League this year. So far, he's done okay. I thought against Roma, he looked a little bit, a little bit too much all over the place. Atletico, he handled himself pretty well. So it would be interesting to see how he does against a team like Barcelona, who just pass, 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 keep the ball moving. That's not his type of game. His type of game is for people who like try to keep the ball, try to keep possession, or try to hold possession. He loves to pressure players like that. if they want to dribble, Conte loves that. He's gonna take them down. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how he goes up against a team that loves to just keep the ball moving and make the ball do the work instead of the players. So yeah, that's I will say that's going to be a very interesting matchup. But I do think he's still probably our best bet to get something out of that game, just because he's got the ability to keep them from really hurting us on the attack. As far as our attack is concerned, obviously Hazard has really been stepping it up over the past few weeks. Murata still has a little bit of a ways to go. Batshuayi, we still haven't really seen what he can do on the Champions League stage yet. Obviously, against Atletico, he did get that late winner first time we faced him. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how our two strikers can fare against a team like Barcelona. Pedro could make a return against Barcelona. Willian has a lot of pace that he can hurt them with. So we've got a lot of options. It's just, can we utilize them effectively? And I think that's going to be the big thing going into this game is, can we set up a team to counteract what Barcelona has? Because I do think it might call for a change of tactics, possibly from Conte's side. I don't think change up the back three. I still think that's our best bet as far as the personnel we have. But as far as the midfield and even the attack, I'm wondering if maybe go with a bit more of an attacking intent, or do we go with a bit more of a defensive intent? I'm not sure, but I'm looking forward to the matchup just because it's going to be interesting to see how we can fare up against a team like Barcelona. Um, I do think this is a good chance for us to show that we are one of the best teams in the world. We just have to show it. We have to put on a good performance. Even if we don't win, I still think as long as we put on a good performance, I think we can hold our heads high and say, you know what, we gave it our all. But I do think if we do put out our best team, if we give everything we've got, I do think we have a good chance of beating Barcelona. So as far as the January transfer window is concerned, obviously this transfer window is not the one where all of the big business is done. Most of the business here is looking towards the future. You see a lot of young players signed now. You see a lot of the lower teams in the Premier League picking up players from the top teams on loan to help them out, to sort of try to save their season. So most of the top teams don't do their business in the January transfer window unless it's something done well before. They had a player they wanted to sign, couldn't get him in the summer, so they agreed to some sort of deal where they get him in January instead. As far as what we need, I do think we need to look at trying to sign a couple players. Not necessarily incredible players. Obviously one that we would love to get is Sandro, because I still think we need somebody else at that left wing back, because Alonso has not really been doing the job well enough. So if we had to get just one good player, Sandro would be my pick. Just because, or even if we got another left wing back that could play that position. Honestly, if we're looking at Premier League quality, I'd say Christian Fuchs would be my first choice there. I think he's got enough quality. I think he's done a very good job at Leicester. That or Danny Rose, I think, could also do the job pretty well. So I think that left wing back role is the first one we need to fill, though, because Marcos Alonso, he's done okay in the past. He's had a few games here and there, but overall, I think his quality has not been up to scratch. Defensively, he's not really helped us on the attack. He gives the ball away too often. I just think we need a better player there that's going to help us either more on the attack or more on the defense. And I think that's something we need to look at as far as Zappacosta is concerned. I think he gives us a bit more on the attack than Alonso does. So he's done well cutting in on his right foot from that left side and having a shot. So Zappacosta and Moses, I think, right now is a better option than Alonso and Moses, or Alonso and Zappacosta. But I think we need to get somebody in there that can really handle that position. As far as if we need anybody else, I think right now we're okay as far as the quality we have and the backup that we have, except for that left wing back position. Because we don't really, Kennedy's our only backup, and he's been out injured for so long, and he doesn't really have the defensive quality we need there. But aside from that, you look at the rest of the team, we have enough quality all around. Defensively, we've got enough backup options. Obviously, David Luiz has not looked his best, but I still think he's good enough in certain games where we can utilize him and then keep Christensen in the other ones. Rudiger, I think, has done very well so far. He's had a couple off games here and there, but for the most part, he's done well enough. Obviously, Spilicueta's got the position covered. Cahill can handle it enough in certain games, and as long as you have Spilicueta back there to help him out, he's good. And then, right back, Moses and Zappacosta have done well. In the middle, we've got all of them capable enough midfielders. I do think Bakayoko, as I've said in the past few reviews, he needs to step up his confidence, but he's done well enough. But Conte has done well. Fabregas has done well. Drinkwater stepped up when he's needed to. So we've got four solid midfielders. Maybe get one more just because we've had some injuries there. So it might be nice to have one more midfielder just in case. Not necessarily somebody like incredible. You don't have to go like get like a Modric or somebody like that. But just somebody who can play in that midfield position. I think we have some out on loan that can play there, like Pasalic, like Van Hinkel, that we loaned out that I thought we should have kept. Chalobah we sold. I thought we should have kept. He could have played there this season. But I think if we could get one more player in there right now, Ampadu is another option we have. Maybe start using him more often. The left wing back I already talked about. As far as the front two or three, I think we've got enough options. We've got Murata, Batshuayi, Hazard can play there if he needs to. And then on top of that, we've got a couple good youngsters that can play there as well. Hudson-Odoi has done very well. Who's the other one? No, wait, I think we loaned out Ugbo, so we don't have him. But, we do have a couple youngsters that might want to give a chance in the FA Cup. Pedro, Willian, Hazard, Musonda, all playing very well at the moment. They've definitely shown they've got some quality. Musonda, I'm hoping he can get back into at least coming off the bench, getting some time on the field. Obviously, he's been out with an injury, so that's hampered his development. But from what I saw from him, he looked like he had some very good talent. So I'd like to see, can he make it? Can he make it into the first team? Because he's shown that he has the ability. It's just he hasn't really had the chance, the opportunity to really show what he can do. So, but yeah, I mean, you look at all of these options that we have. We don't really need to strengthen that much in the January transfer window, but I do think we need to get that left wing back position under control. Because right now it's kind of you never know what's going to happen there. Alonso could have a good game, could have a terrible game. If we move Zappacosta over, he can play okay, but then does he provide enough defensively for us? If we put somebody else there, Pedro sometimes will play there. Does he have enough to help us on that left side? I want somebody that's going to nail down that position as this is their position. They're going to play well every game. I'm going to trust. I'm going to feel confident whenever they're out there. And I think we've got some options out there. Like I said, top three options right now. Alexandro obviously is number one because it's who we wanted in the summer. We didn't get him. We had to go with Zappacosta, who was just an option that could play a wingback position. I still think Sandro is probably the best option we could get right now for that left wingback. And then after that, I'd probably go Fuchs and then Rose. I think both of them have proven they can do it at the Premier League level, and they're both good players in their own right. So, yeah, I would love to see if we could pick up one of those players just because we need the help there. We need a bit more confidence there. But aside from that, every other position is pretty well wrapped up. We just need a couple more players, maybe at the youth level, that maybe sign some superstar that's going to come up within the next few years and really show out and be able to make it into the first team. We don't really have anybody aside from Ampadu right now that's at that level yet. Musonda is the only other one that I can think of in his teens. And I don't even think he's in his teens anymore. I think he turned 20 recently. So, yeah, I want to see a young player come up that we signed that's just like, yes, he can do it, he can make it. Because we do need somebody like that. So, but yeah, that's about it for me. I guess, well, last thing to talk about is, do we need to sell anybody? If we were going to sell somebody, I guess the person that I would choose to sell would be David Luiz. If we are going to sell him, though, I think we do need to go and either get Zuma back from loan or we need to go find another defender. We do have a lot of defenders out on loan, so I don't think we need to go get another superstar defender because I think we've got some that can make it at this level. We just haven't really given them the chance to. But if we were going to sell somebody, David Luiz would be my option just because he's probably been the worst player so far for us this season. I think he hasn't shown enough for us. I think he's gone back to his old ways of being crazy, being stupid challenges, stupid balls forward that give possession away. That's the David Luiz that I was excited to sell, and he's kind of returned to that. So that's the last thing I want to talk about. So what are your opinions? What do you think about Barcelona? What do you think about the January transfer window? What do you want to see us do? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Chelsea reviews. I'll see you guys hopefully very soon after Huddersfield's game, but we'll have to see. Peace out.